Hi, I'm at Breitenbush walking the labyrinth and I started channeling, so I thought I'd record it. I'm channeling about my kids. I'm into it already, but my intention was, how do I enjoy my kids? And I was beginning the labyrinth with nothing. My mind was just blank, and so the message was, sometimes it's not going to be fun playing with your kids. Sometimes it's going to be boring. And then it was just quiet, and I was like, okay. And then they said, sometimes it's going to require patience to figure out how to accomplish your goals in life, such as enjoying your kids. And maybe the time that you're taking to cultivate that patience is actually why it was boring in the first place. It wasn't boring because you don't have an imagination anymore. It's just what you need. Maybe you chose to be born at a time where electronics were dulling our imagination, so that you could learn how to bring an imagination back to life. So you had to go through the conditioning of losing your imagination, then go through the spark of reigniting it, so that you could learn what that reignition is about. Okay, you've got to stop thinking about being on planet Earth as fixing all the problems and bringing in abundance and ascending. Actually, you're here to expand your heart. You're here to expand. What is your heart? What's in why? Why are we here to expand our hearts? Because our hearts are the telephone that we have access to our awakened self. When we went to sleep, you weren't cut off completely. You have access to your remembrance back then, but you got to stumble upon the wanting and the knowledge of how to find it. And if you stumble upon the wanting, then the finding, it comes. It comes to you. As you seek it, it comes. So, okay. Back to the kids thing. Sometimes you're going to need to cultivate patience, because that's what you came to Earth to do. That was the point of that lecture. How do you play with your kids? Play requires being silly. And it's very difficult for a Virgo to be silly, isn't it? Because you just want to get shit done. That's the only satisfying thing in life, is to accomplish a task. Be productive. But there's a place for silliness, Kelly. When you're silly, you don't take yourself seriously, which is the gateway to humility. Stop taking yourself so serious. Make fun of yourself. There's different ways of being silly. Laughter is always worthwhile, even if it's at your expense. Okay? So, embrace that. Embrace wasting time with your kids. This is worth reiterating. Waste time with your kids. Of course, it's not a waste, but in your mind, you need to be given permission to not be so productive. You need to be given permission to do nothing, get nothing done. So that's why we say waste time with your kids. It's funny, isn't it? Doesn't it make you smile when we tell you to waste time? When you think it's like the worst thing in the world is to waste time. You're undoing the matrix. You're undoing the conditioning. And the matrix and the conditioning teaches you not to value your children. In whatever ways it does teach us that. So you've learned that spending time with kids is like an option. It's an extra. Sometimes it's a waste of time. Unfortunately, that's what you were told. And when you allow yourself to do that for the sake of your kids, you're going to discover your joy again. You're going to discover your joy, because for this, kids are a source of joy, and maybe that's part of why they don't want us enjoying them, is because they bring us joy. So much joy. You've glimpsed it, Kelly. You've glimpsed the joy that's possible just by being in the same room as your kids. But you can't do that every time you're with them. And so you're going to have a lot of stressors in your life, and you can't let those stressors come in the way. So can you make a boundary with your stressors so that you can compartmentalize it and then give your kids your full attention? That's what we want you to explore, is how you can compartmentalize your anxiety and your stress. You know, you've got a sink full of dishes, you've got a chore to do, and we know you want to get it done. It's going to feel so satisfying to get it done. But that kid needs you now. That kid's smiling and available to you now. So this is an invitation for you to go on a journey to discover how to really navigate your mind so that you can keep your anxiety in a wrapped up, organized. You're going to figure it out. Maybe these are the wrong words, but they're telling me how to not allow my anxiety to rule me, but I rule it. Such as they're teaching me how to work with money. I don't let money rule me, I rule my money. If I have a certain amount of money, I figure out what I can do with it without going over. And I need to do that with my mind focus. And I am now at the center of the labyrinth, which I think is important, that they just told me to learn how to focus my mind. You see it? Cute. Okay. So with your mental focus, you realize one step in doing that is to realize that you are actually not Kelly. You are the consciousness behind the thoughts, the feelings, the judgments, the observations. You are the soul behind everything. And as a mammal, your physical expression part of you, the identity of Kelly in this lifetime right now, it has the habit to judge things a certain way, because you're programmed. Mammals can be programmed in a very complex way. So there's a reason why mammals are on Earth, and Earth is a living library. There's a lot of diversity available here, and knowing that you can program your mind, that's a tool of the 5D. People are waking up to that. We're waking up to 5D consciousness and logic and rule of law, whatever. And hypnosis is a big part of that. Mind control. You want to brainwash yourself with your highest goal in mind. We're inviting you to do that. And if you want to play with your kids, figure out how you can turn on and off your stress. Just sometimes stress is helpful, but humans think that they are the victim of everything. And that's not true. That's what we're trying to teach you, that you have access to your mind, and you don't have to study hypnosis to figure it out. You can meditate and figure it out. So in your meditation, invite the intention to see clearly how you can intentionally compartmentalize your mind so that you can use the stress when it's helpful and then set it aside when it's not helpful. And knowing how to set it aside for the sake of your kids, it's a motivation. It's the reason why you're channeling right now, and you're getting the answer because you're channeling about it. Learning how to compartmentalize intentionally so that you can set your stress aside and it no longer rules you. It's like, it's true. My number one goal in life is to figure out how to relax. So much anxiety. And if I could do that, they're telling me I can do that. We'll see where this evolves. Okay, so be silly, waste time with your kids, and investigate how to compartmentalize your anxiety. Because you're going to work on it. You're going to work on it for the rest of your life. You're not going to. Anxiety is the doorway to a spiritual awakening. You cannot let that spiritual awakening ruin all the fun you're going to have in the 3D until you're done being in the 3D. We want you to have the best of both worlds. We want you to have the best of the 3D and the 5D bliss. Isn't that a nice way to go out? Drop all the stuff from the 3D that isn't fun, but keep the stuff that is fun and ascend anyway. Why not? It's a dream. And heaven, we know that when we go to heaven, we just imagine whatever we want. Well, let's do that on earth. Let's imagine whatever we want. I can compartmentalize my anxiety so that I can use it to my advantage. Thanks, kids. See, another gift of being a mom. That's the Pluto Aquarius transit, is transmuting the negative into positive. Seeing all your wounds and traumas as gifts. If you see your traumas as a gift, you really don't have a reason to be a victim anymore. So that's huge. And but the gift that it gives you is peace of mind, because you take your control back, you take your power back, and and then there's nothing scary. If you just see all your traumas as opportunities to stand up to bullies, heal past life karma, feel better, life is fun then. You have all the control to be happy. Easier said than done, right? Okay. I'm going to be silent now. I want to keep finishing. I want to finish this. They're showing me, like, my kids again, to look into their eyes, look into their smile, watch them while they sleep. Gosh, watching a toddler sleep is like one of the sweetest moments you will ever know, because you love them, and normally there's so much work. But while they're sleeping, they're no work at all. And they're just so sweet, and you love them, and they're no work. Watch them while they're sleeping. Kelly, look at them. Meditate on your children's faces in a restful, nervous state. And then it'll be easier to remember why you should waste time with them. So much abundance. Namaste.